Hey, Shalom family. All right, so imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine that you are trying to get into a show that the tickets cost $100, and you didn't really have enough money to get in. But you're standing out in line, and the person who's at the door decides to show you some favor and to be like, come on in, you know, you know, go inside. I'm gonna let you in. Have a seat, chill, just be low key, you know, and enjoy the show, and you like, thank you, you go in and have a seat and you in there, you didn't pay the dime to get in there. But then you got the nerve to like start complaining about stuff like, it's it's cold in here, dang, it's mighty. It'd be nice if they had some refreshments or something, and you just giving complaints. You got the nerve to go to the manager and and have complaints like you got in free, but you're complaining like a person who paid full price to get in. Like that would be real high minded of you to do that. That would be really, foolish, you know, to do that. It would be very ungrateful to take that type of posture and that type of attitude, when you just got slid in for free, and you didn't have nowhere near $100 to get into the show. So, I say that to say that that's kind of the attitude that we begin to take coming into the Father's house, coming into the kingdom, and as we begin to go through various things and go through various trials, we start to think that we don't deserve to go through anything. We start to think that we don't, it's not fair, I mean, I personally, I went through that. I went through, you start to walk, you walk for so long, or, what you feel like is so long, and, things don't line up the way that you think that they should be lining up. And you start to think, man, dang, is this all in vain? Or, gosh, you know, this doesn't seem fair, and you can take a attitude that, makes you feel like you deserve more, or, you're not, you shouldn't be going through the things that you're going through. So, and sometimes we forget that we have been made worthy. We've been deemed worthy, not because we've earned, the right to be able to be in the Father's house. The right to have access to Him and to His kingdom. We haven't earned it. We've been declared and made worthy. And but sometimes we take the posture of somebody who has earned it, who paid full price to get in, and we got the nerve to be, raising our voice up and raising up our complaints before Him about how He's running His house and how He's running His kingdom. So I personally have gone through that, and what the Most High showed me, He was like, it's pride. He was like, it's a prideful attitude to think that you, first of all, to think that you know better than the person who's running the house, to think that you're not, that you shouldn't go through what everybody else in the house is going through. We lose sight of the fact that everybody else in the house who's in the house is going through the same thing. Everybody has the same standards. All of the children, each have their own chores. All of the children each have their own responsibilities. Each of the children in the house, have a role that they have to play and a burden that they have to carry, as part of the house. And the Father is the one who puts that in order, so and in going through this, He directed me to Matthew, when the disciples are it says Matthew chapter 15, when the Canaanite woman approaches Messiah. And I'm going to read this short portion here. It says, and see, a woman of Canaan came from those borders and cried out to the Messiah, saying, have compassion on me, O Master, son of David. My daughter is badly demon possessed. But he did not answer her a word. And his taught ones, his disciples, came and asked him, saying, Send her away, because she cries after us. And he answering said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But she came and was bowing to him, saying, Master, help me. And he answering said, It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. But she said, Yes, master, for even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from the master's table. And Yahusha answering said to her, O woman, your belief is great. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that hour. Now, first of all, us, if that was us, we would have stopped right at, what did he say? It's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. So, you know us, you know how we are. We'd be like, what? Did he just call me a little dog? Like, we'd have stopped right there and went slam off. we'd have went, who you calling a dog? Did he call me a dog? Well, keep your little bread. I don't need your crumbs or your bread. And who you think you is? And you know how we get, so it wouldn't took a second. So we wouldn't have, the story would have ended right there for us, So, but this sister, she wasn't phased not one bit. She said, but yes, master, for even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Because she understood that he just said he came for the house of Israel, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. She understood that did not include her, but she understood where the bread was coming from, and she understood who the master was, and she didn't deem herself to be so, high and lifted up, that she was worthy of something better than the crumbs, She was like, listen, I'll take the crumbs, sweep the crumbs down here, and because she knew how much value was in even a crumb from the master's table, so she wasn't so prideful that she wasn't willing to receive that, or and wasn't able to posture herself in the appropriate way, to be able to get what she came there for. She was in need, and she knew where her need was going to be fulfilled. And I think we lose sight of the fact that of who we are approaching, and the fact that the Most High is the only source for our need. That we're looking to try to eat from the master's table, and if it's just a crumb from the master's table, we should be thankful for it because that crumb is worth so much worth and value. That crumb from the master's table healed her daughter, who was demon possessed. So, we're demanding, much more than what we're worthy of, and taking a high-minded posture about it, versus being humble. He says, "Oh woman, your belief is great. Your trust is great," and so we should take that. So he led me to this verse, to remind me this and a few other verses to just remind me, like where is your thankfulness, your gratefulness? Where is your what posture are you taking coming to me? Because we get beside ourselves sometimes, especially coming out of the church or whatever, where they teach you to have an attitude of, I'm a king's kid, and like we are should be receiving certain things, and that trouble's not supposed to come our way. And some of the residue of that mindset, can carry on with us even in this walk. So, as we go through our trials, we have to remember that the Most High knows, and I'm thankful today, to be gaining understanding on, some of the things that I've gone through over the last year and why it was necessary and how it was for my good, and how it's continuing to be for my good, even though it was painful, even though, it didn't make logical sense, you know what I mean? So, but to be able to trust that that his will is perfect, and that his purpose is perfect, as he's moving to mold us and to make us into his image and to remove everything that's hindering us, and he'll remove everything Trust me, he will remove anything and everything that competes with, him, and that competes with what he wants to do in your character and in your heart, and in transforming you into his image and into light, so that you are the royal priesthood that he's called you to be. Nothing is beyond being removed, and whatever you think that you're building, if it's not built, if he's not building it, expect for it to come collapsing down. So we have to be careful of pride, because when the Most High is with us in our trials, and it's important to stay humble so that he can lift you up in due time. But when we take on the posture and get into that mindset of feeling like, I shouldn't be going through this, and we just pride is so sneaky, and we don't really see it as pride, and or sometimes it's the attitude of just feeling like a victim, or feeling like, man, we just anything outside of the attitude that we should be having, of being humble and being thankful and being trusting in the Father, slides us over into pride. And while the Most High is with us in our trials, when we slide into the wrong posture, it says that he resists the proud. So now we put ourselves in a position where the Most High he had our back, but now we posturing ourselves in a way where he's going to have to resist us. And now we are out of position with the grace, the favor, the strength, the peace and shalom, the joy, the perspective that we need to persevere through the trial. Because the goal of the trial is to sharpen us. You know what I mean? It's to mature us and to grow us up, right? So, but if we get out of position, out of posture, now we posture ourselves in a way where we have to endure discipline without the grace to go through it, and that's not a good thing. So we want to make sure that we're being humble, and then we're in the posture, to be able to hear what we need to hear and see what we need to see from his perspective, so that our trials are not in vain, and we're gaining from it what we're supposed to gain from it, to build us up and to mature us to get to the next place where we need to be, and to be able to play the role that we're called to play in the Father's house, in his kingdom. So it's really important. So I wanted to share that with you today, and just encourage you, if you're going through something, to really remain humble and seek his face. Continue to seek his word, and gain the jewels and the nuggets that are in his word, and stay in prayer, stay humble, so that you can see and hear what he wants for you in this season. I don't care what it is or how difficult it is. It will benefit you. We quote the verse sometimes that says, all things are working for my good. But if you are walking in him, and I'm not talking about the trials that that you're putting yourself into, or the trials that are a result of walking in continual sin or anything like that. I'm talking about the trials that are outside of your control, the things that are happening, that the Most High is allowing, because it is ultimately molding you into who he wants you to be, if you allow it and if you go through it the right way. So be encouraged, be strengthened, and may the Most High be with you and fill you with his peace, joy, and shalom. Shalom, family.